There's no doubt that The Owl House is a magnificent series. It's my favorite show of all time. Like any good story, its narrative carries some significant messages and life lessons to be taught to its audience. Here are all of the important messages from The Owl House that stood out to me the most. Many aspects of the story are about being true to yourself. If you try to become someone you're not, you'll only ever make yourself unhappy. Luce wasn't happy not being her creative self, and Willow wasn't happy in the Abominations track at Hexside when her real passion was in plant magic. Amity was made to feel like she had to live up to her parents' expectations and that she had to hide or get rid of anything or anyone that they didn't approve of. Over the course of the series, all of these characters and more learn to both inwardly and outwardly embrace who they really are and become confident in their true, authentic selves. In a similar vein, there is also a theme of not letting yourself get taken advantage of. Gus's classmates knew that he was smart, so they only ever wanted to use him as a way to get their schoolwork done more easily. As a result, he initially had trouble making friends. With the help of the like-minded people he later befriends, he learns to put his needs and desires above those of others that they project onto him. Another related topic is asking for help when you need it and expressing your feelings rather than bottling them up. If your loved ones can tell that something is bothering you but you're not willing to talk about it, all you're going to do is make them worry while also making things harder for yourself. If we keep our feelings inside for too long, in extreme cases, they may suddenly emerge in ugly ways, taking the form of aggression and resulting in the hurt of others. Whether human or witch, we all need each other and will be better off with the support of other people we trust rather than trying to maintain everything on our own. One feeling that tends to rear its ugly head is jealousy, which at worst can be destructive. This is especially evident in Philip Whittabane's character in relation to his older brother Caleb. For all Philip's life, he had the attention and affection of his older brother, who acted as a caretaker and guide to him when the two were orphaned as children. However, when Caleb met a witch named Evelyn who had come through a portal from the demon realm and Caleb followed her back there, Philip was angry at his brother, feeling that he had been abandoned and betrayed since the brothers had initially been witch hunters. In a violent confrontation, Philip killed his own brother, the worst possible result of his negative emotions, instead of accepting that Caleb was happy in his new life with Evelyn in the demon realm. When Philip became Belos, he carried this resentment with him even centuries later. Philip's ways, both as his human self and later as Emperor Belos, also act as a warning against religious fanaticism. Philip believed that magic in any form was evil and that those corrupted by it were condemned to hell, leading him to want to destroy all magic with the intent of saving the souls of those who lived by it. As Emperor, Belos noticed that the inhabitants of the Boiling Isles had a similar reverence for the Titan as his religious background had for the Christian God, so he used this idea to take advantage of them, convincing them that the Titan had decreed all wild magic to be evil, giving him an excuse to brand witches with coven sigils which would ultimately be used to drain their magic. Ironically, Belos himself used magic to sustain his life by consuming the souls of palismen, taking part in the very practice that he himself condemned. Speaking of covens, under Belos's rule, their implementation made many witches feel that they had to make a difficult decision, forever limiting their magic to only one type. From their youth, these witches were deeply conflicted and even punished for trying to focus on more than one type of magic during their studies, most notably the students in Hexside's detention track. The lessons that these students and the school administration come to learn are that no one should be made to feel like they can only be or have one thing out of many, and that those who deviate from norms and standards should not be viewed as troublemakers or be forced to change. A greater message of questioning authority is also ever present. The Owl House also demonstrates that family does not always equal blood, and vice versa. Found family is equally as valid as biological family because some people just know that they belong together. On the flip side, sometimes members of one's biological family are not good people, and their family members don't owe them anything just because they are related. All of Odalia Blight's children and her husband rightfully cut themselves off from her once they learn that she is abusive and manipulative. Although Hunter technically has genetic relations to Belos as a clone of his brother and initially believed himself to be Belos's nephew, he learns that he is not obligated to serve Belos if he only seeks to take advantage of Hunter and make him aid in Belos's wrongdoings. Perhaps my favorite message of the series is that understanding and compassion are almost always the best approach to forming and maintaining relationships with others. When Luce and King are trying to come through to the Collector, they learn that he was neglected, which influenced his controlling behaviors. When the Collector sees that they genuinely want to give him the true companionship that he'd never really had, he trusts them and later seeks to extend the same compassionate ways himself and make up for what he has done. Another character who makes up for her actions is Lilith Clawthorne, who makes up for cursing her sister Ida by taking half of the curse into herself so that it will be less of a burden for Ida. However, compassion does not always work. When the Collector tries to establish friendly relations with Belos, Belos instead retaliates, which gets Luce hurt and deeply upsets the Collector. He learns, alongside the others, that sometimes fighting back is necessary against people who refuse to change for the better to prevent such people from harming others. Belos's refusal to amend his ways is his own fault, and eventually leads to his defeat and destruction. So what do you think? Are there any other important lessons that the Owl House demonstrates? Which of its messages is your favorite? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. I'm always making more, so be sure to subscribe to see them. I hope you have a great day, and until next time, bye!